All right. Welcome everybody out to my first Zul'jin Distillery replay cast. Here we go. So on the left side we have I Must Feed. We've got Miles on the Gul'dan. We've got Little Main by the way, or Lily Main by the way, excuse me. That is on our Stukov. We have Lister Friend on the Rainer. We have John Goodman, celebrity in the house, playing Johanna. Sudden Bears on the Deathwing. Here on our red side, which is Calculated Throw, Hanamura Drift. Brick House playing the Imperious. Genzors on the Anubarak. Spo Gino on the Kael'thas. Night Knight coming in with the Sylvanas. And Danalore with the Ariel. And now I'm even stuck on... There we go. There we are. We've got Echoing Corruption. We've got Ace in the Hole. We've got the Hold Your Ground. We have the Fetid Touch. And then the Dragon Soul. So I like to take Dragon Soul when I go into a bit more of a ranged Deathwing build. Over here we have Burn the Impure from Imperious. We have the Stacking Shadow Dagger quest and Unfurling Shadows with Sylvanas. Rubian Armor on our good friend Anubarak, so going into that extra spell armor all the time. Swift Sweep with Ariel. Ooh, a little bit of a team fight, but everybody getting away fairly clean. And finally, Globe Quest for Mana Addict on KT. We've got Hanamura Drift decided to go into a quick rotation, where I Must Feed decided to get the second wave mid before coming bot. We've got Camp Split Off Lister on our Rainer, and Lily Main, by the way, on our Stukov, taking the left camp. We have the bottom camp with a full force of 3.5 with the half in the bush, making sure everybody stays safe there, Genzors. Gul'dan picking up the mid soak, so I Must Feed having a touch of an experience lead here. It's not huge. Let's see, how do I find this again? Sorry, I'm not the most polished caster, but we're here, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to love it. Ooh, an invade, or possibly a gank, looking for that Sylvanas. Night Knight, oh no! I think she's got to get away here, yeah. And we run from the camp, but that has allowed Hanamura Drift to close the gap on experience almost completely. You can see we're about 200 away, which that could be as simple as picking up a couple minions right here. These minions right here. These minions. Ooh, he made it. Okay, we've got the camp. So minions is our difference here. Mercenaries we actually have in favor of Hanamura Drift, but the minion experience is being far cleaner picked up by I Must Feed. We got the first shrine announced. It's coming here on the bottom shrine. Neither team has really put in a lot of damage onto structures here. You can see Gates taking a little bit of abuse. And I Must Feed prepping their top camp, whereas in the solo lane, really nothing's ready up here. Deathwing's taking some damage. Imperious making sure of that. I'd be surprised if we don't see Deathwing go to the air here once he's finished that wave. About half of a cannon tower here from the push in by Hanamura Drift, but there's a camp pushing top. Deathwing is content to force Imperious to stay there for now. We've got a lead on the objective by Hanamura Drift. John Goodman throwing out his flashlight to check to see where everybody's at. I Must Feed seems content to get a little bit of poke with Gul'dan and force the wave in. They're going to get a fair amount of free damage here. And it looks like Hanamura Drift isn't even looking to pick up the soak. And the shrine is just sitting. Night Knight Ian in. Good whip by Danalore. And to both teams, I apologize if I get your names wrong. I will work on that for next time. Not seeing anything too out of the ordinary talent-wise so far. do have the level 7s picked up in advance by I Must Feed, and they are forcing their position on this shrine. Ooh, Imperious coming in. They only need 5 for Hanamura Drift. 4, 2. Oh, and Deathwing goes down. 2. Oh, I Must Feed picking up the Mortar Punisher here. Deathwing going very much out of character and sacrificing himself for the objective. Oh, we've got the jump. We already had this wall opened up, if you remember that minion wave. Oh man, both of the frontliners here for Hanamura Drift are feeling mighty low. Anubarak taking the full back, and this fort is going down. They have nothing to stop it with between the wave and the fairly healthy, still at 28% Punisher. And here we have I Must Feed pulling off, picking up camps, saying, you know, that Punisher's great, but he's not going to really get anything more out there. Ooh, the jump missed a little bit, but he's still within 2 cannon tower range, and he goes down. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more aggression here on the part of I Must Feed and pick up this aggro camp, perhaps, because they gave up the soak that was up here. They took the neutral camp, which was good, but I feel like they probably could have done aggro camp, neutral camp, safe camp, and pulled that off just fine. But well on our ways to 10s. Oh, we don't do the IPM with a 2300 experience lead on the part of I Must Feed. They are just playing safe till 10. Ooh, but it does look aggro invade up here on the shaman camp. Is Hanamura Drift sniffing this out? We've got a 5-man invade. It appears to be theirs. You can't push a Deathwing off without killing him. Ooh. Okay, Stukov going down. This is going to be, they got the camp, but at what cost? At what cost? Oh, Deathwing's down. So 4 people for 1 camp. It was gutsy. I don't know that the camp quite got the value that we were out of, and now it is in fact Hanamura Drift that is up on kill or up on experience, strictly off of hero kills, closing that gap and making it a gap in their favor. It was interesting, says Miles. Hanamura Drift picking up soak in all 3 lanes, getting a little bit of siege damage, chipping away at that top. KT picking up the bottom soak. Oh, and I apologize that I did not make it up here fast enough, but it looks like Night overstayed, excuse me, and got picked off by Stukov, in fact. I Must Feed taking the aggro camp. That shove, see ya, Nubarak. But with it being a 4-on-3, they knew they had that, and they just pushed their advantage and took control of the situation. That bottom cannon tower is feeling it, though KT is trying to pick it up to save it for his team. And we see I Must Feed again putting priority on the bruiser camps. A little bit of a split. They need to be careful. Hanamura Drift is out in force in this middle lane. Heroics, because I never called that. We do have Horrify, we do have Rainer's Raider, which we've seen buzzing around here. We've got the Blessed Shield, which did come out. That massive shove, which we did see live up to its name on the Anubarak. And finally, Bellowing Roar. The bug on Bellowing Roar, allowing it to be cast in the sky, has been fixed. And it can be absolutely worthwhile, and they have 2 fears on that team. Deathwing trying to throw out some zoning damage out there. On the right side, we do have Angelic Armaments, we have Wailing Arrow, Cocoon, Resurrect, I apologize, the icon threw me for a second there, as well as Pyroblast. We've got our frontliners trying to body block, trying to zone out. We have a 26 Skeletal Defender lead on the part of I Must Feed. The Cocoon goes out, a Nubarak dive in the back line. Ooh, the fear for the disengage. I've got to think Gul'dan's in a world of hurt. Pyroblast hitting him right in the face. And We've got Deathwing taking quite a bit of damage, but so far it's been a 2-for-1 trade. That Resurrect value coming in. A Nubarak is rejoining from the backside. Johanna's out of mana. Ooh, the massive shove pushing him out of position. And we're getting the silence out there, further zoning away Hanamura Drift. And with only 4 monkeys left, skeletal defenders, whatever you would like to call them, I Must Feed takes the shrine. We do have that pressure building bottom. 2 catapults, they took out a fair amount of that wall, so we've got some response by KT and a Nubarak. But here on the mid fort, we have no defense coming in, short of our auto spawn minions and all of their courageousness. But here we have Hanamura Drift coming in now to defend that they've got those lanes cleaned up. Deathwing is split pushing in the top, the mid fort is gone, and we had another bait that didn't quite get over the wall with the leap, from the Punisher. Oh, here we go. We opened up the bottom wall. Joanna come crashing in. Let's see. She took Blessed Hammer. Ooh, big slow right there. And this keep is feeling it. Here we are. We're at half health now on this keep. It is continuing to go down. I don't know that they save it at this point, but boy, they are trying. Joanna popping the Iron Skin to get out of there. She goes down from the poison damage on that KT. There goes Valk, not knowing how to use his control. And the Deathwing with the very stylish escape. So we did successfully defend the keep. It's got 5,000 health left, but man, it feels like I Must Feed could just come in and force that issue whenever they want. They take the neutral camp rather than the safe camp. It seems that Hanamura Drift has found that out, and so the safe camp for I Must Feed, or the aggro camp for Hanamura Drift, goes over to Hanamura Drift. Clearing out the bottom, they do have that intermittent catapult pressure. They can see the forces of I Must Feed clearing out that first spear thrower camp. And so here they are in force. They're down 14 to 15. I Must Feed is a little bit closer to that 16 advantage. 6,000 experience. Oh wow, there goes a Nubarak again. We've got the shove, so both of the main tanks are taken out for a minute. That big old silence, oh the fear. Down goes Sylvanas. Joanna at full health, just running around saying, come at me, bros. And this camp, which was never cleared, is now pushing with 4 team members of I Must Feed. Oh, a Nubarak. You're lucky you didn't get disrupted, my friend, or interrupted. Either one, I suppose, works. But here we are. We've got a catapult, 2 siege throwers, a full minion wave, and 4 members of I Must Feed just wailing away on this bottom keep wall. Deathwing continuing with the split, so goes into the air, likely to engage down here. He's dropping the Skyfall. Here he comes, boom. We've got, ooh, fantastic use to get the armor. However, Stukov still goes down there. We've now got a 4v5. Deathwing is next on the menu, then Johanna. Ooh. Can't help but feel like I Must Feed just overstayed their welcome. Rainer's now being chased down with that speedy carapace from a Nubarak, and the stuns come in, and Rainer's got 45 seconds till he comes back. So again on the bottom shrine this time, and we have the full team of Calculated Throw Hanamura Drift. Oh, Brickhouse is now going back to clear up that bottom lane. Make sure that they hold on to this lead and don't give a structure for free. Great wave here in the mid. While it's not going to take out the keep, it is the fort. It is going to continue with that little bit of pressure forward, and in my opinion, most importantly, the vision. We now know, if we are the part of Hanamura Drift, where Stukov and Gul'dan were just moments ago. We've got a full frozen Punisher. In my opinion, the scariest of them, because now you have the Frozen Punisher and Sylvanas both to lock down structures and just get this siege evened up. The structure lead is coming to a screeching even mark if this Frozen Punisher is not dealt with. So the bottom fort is down. Hanamura taking an aggressive position, trying to make sure his team knows where the enemy's at. And we've got I Must Feed playing very safe inside the base. Here it comes up on this fort, or excuse me, on this keep wall. We get the jump by Joe. She walks away with the Iron Skin like a Joe does. This front wall appears to have been obliterated now by the siege of Hanamura Drift. Okay, lots of damage being pumped into the Punisher. You've got Joe trying to be as disruptive as she can. And the keep, while taking a fair amount of damage, is staying up very well. Strong defense at the keep by the members of I Must Feed. Hanamura Drift racing back to this camp. They say, if we can't have the keep, well then you can't have our camp. Coming down now to the bottom neutral camp while I Must Feed takes their bruiser, again putting priority on this. KT appears to be going back to save that mid keep, but I worry he's too late. Oh, go, it's gone. So we need a little bit snappier reaction from Hanamura Drift to save that keep. So now the members of I Must Feed having the first keep come in their favor. Thank you, Nexus forces. Pushing out that pressure from the mid lane. We now have the camp taken by Hanamura Drift. We do see as these mercenaries had a little bit bigger, we do have that level 4 from Sylvanas, Mercenary Queen, making sure that when she pushes with mercenaries, they are that much more powerful. Hanamura trying to get out of dodge as Deathwing comes in with a vengeance. We do have KT clearing that top camp, and Hanamura Drift is about to take their top bruiser camp to send back at the members of I Must Feed. Approaching 20s now, you can see again that experience discrepancy quite a bit from passive by having those extra structures early, but also 4,000 in minion experience. Even the 7,000 lead of hero kills on the part of Hanamura Drift has not caught them up. Minion experience just being so important in the current landscape of Heroes of the Storm. 20s are approaching. We do see the members of I Must Feed coming up here to clear this, making sure that they maintain their top fort wall and fountain. We do have quite a bit of damage out on the side of the top fort for Hanamura Drift. They are executing their siege privilege here in the mid fort, trying to even up that lane even what little bit. Deathwing can't stop it, but they're trading where the next objective is going to be. This fort and this fountain is going down. I gotta say, I like the call by I Must Feed. We don't know exactly when the shrine will pop, but we know it's coming. Radiating Faith out of the Johanna, Demonic Circle from Gul'dan, Execute from Raynor. We've got the top off from Stukov, and finally the arrival of a god, giving Deathwing all of his level 7 talents. We're not far off on the part of Hanamura Drift. You can see just under half a level as they're coming in. This shrine is about to spawn in just 10 more seconds, and Hanamura Drift is scrambling around the map trying to make sure that they have 20s before they take this fight. On the part of I Must Feed, they're hanging out in bushes. They know they've got the lead. They don't want to squander that. I would have liked to have seen them, knowing that Hanamura Drift was running around, force the issue. Hanamura Drift is deciding to can opener this keep. It will no longer be a even lane for them. They will have the lead, but they are giving up quite a bit here. Oh, I Must Feed hearthing too late. I don't think that it was going to be quite enough to end with, so they send 3 members back, excuse me. Oh, Hanamura Drift pushing in with the minion wave. 2 catapults. I like forcing the response. Deathwing still up here, fighting away at minions. Not exactly his forte. I think I would have liked to have seen perhaps Gul'dan use a demonic circle so that he can clear up here and then zip back at any point. Hanamura Drift taking out the bottom siege camp so that they can have that extra pressure coming in the bot. In fact, they're taking all of the mid camps, hoping that they don't have to worry about the other two lanes while this Punisher is pushing. But we do have an Arcane Punisher, Deathwing, Hearthed back. He is walking as slow as a big dragon walks. But we have almost none of the front defenses on the part of Hanamura Drift on this top cannon tower. But here we go. We are looking for quite the fight now that we are 20. Oh, and a Nubarak just getting picked on. Resurrect coming in. We don't have the Resurrect upgrade, but we do have Shield of Hope. Imperious just going in, fighting with all he's worth. Unfortunately, he does go down. Deathwing arrives here just by the keep. The Punisher is still going. A Nubarak diving in after that Gul'dan. Demonic Circle. Bam! He is out of there. We see a Nubarak fall again. We still have a fair amount of health on this Punisher. 10,000. The core having 33,000 with its shields. And with two members of Hanamura Drift down, this is looking dangerous for them. Stukov takes the Pyroblast to the face. Down goes Kael'thas. We have this core just melting, and game one does in fact go over to the members of I Must Feed. I felt like the macro pressure was very strong. We're going to bring up this logo here. Oh! Don't worry, folks at home. Sometimes Valk just doesn't know how to use OBS. Here's our great logo right in the middle while Valk figures out how to do the next replay. I apologize for my inability as a caster, but I feel like we're making some small improvements. So the next map in our series is that of Battlefield of Eternity. I apologize, I also do not have the picks as far as who went first, but we see Sudden Bears again on the Deathwing. Lister Friend coming in with the Vala rather than the Rainer. We do have Lili Main, by the way, playing Lili, so living up to their name. And then we have John Goodman playing ETC. If there was a teleport or whatever you want to call it from John Goodman in real life to the Nexus, could it be any better than ETC? I don't know. And finally, Miles bringing in the Alarak. On our Hanamura Drift, we have Night Knight playing Jaina. We're going to zoom this out a little bit. We have Spogino on the Rainer. Some great synergy there. Thrall coming in. Oh, Thrall's the only one not with the team. Brickhouse playing the Thrall. We do have Danalore on the Tyrande. And finally, Mal'Ganis by Genzors. Don't worry, folks at home, just another day of Valk not knowing how to use the overlays properly. So we have our traditional 1-4 split. Ooh, I want to see. Thrall decided to go Echo of the Elements. So my personal favorite, there is a new Tank Buster talent on that, let's see, what do they call it? Rolling Storm or something like that. I'll have to look it up. I apologize again. But going into the more traditional Echo of the Elements, again, my personal favorite, we do have Block Party coming out of ETC, Ruthless Momentum with the Alarak, just increasing the opportunity to be a sadistic punk. We got Free Drinks by Lili, so low health targets. We reduce the cooldown of Healing Brew and the mana cost. Monster Hunter for that race coming out of Vala, and Draconic Might for the auto attacks and the protected plates on Deathwing. Fingers of Frost coming out of Jaina, so going for those globes, getting that extra frostbite damage and magic regen. Vampiric Aura. I don't actually know the rules of Zul'jin Distillery exactly, if the Winged Guard is banned or not for Mal'Ganis. We do have a Loon's Chosen for Tyrande. Echo of the Elements already getting 5 stacks, and Ace in the Hole for that Jaina and Rainer synergy. Both teams protecting the bushes. How dare you look at the camp? And so both of them retreat from it. Coming up into the solo lane, because they don't often get as much camera time, we have Deathwing on full health, little bit of a push in here, but how much is he going to get out of Thrall, we aren't sure. Let's check our experience. Super close, but the members of I Must Feed, again, just a touch ahead on experience here. Now, that may be that they've just killed some minions a little faster, because as you can see, passive's the same. It's just a touch difference here. Oh, minions just swinging over to the side of Hanamura Drift, because our friends here in the bottom decided to take the camp, and no one's getting these. These globes expire after 6 seconds. Vault something, do it! Oh, we got some of them, but not all of them. And Deathwing using the range of that Molten Flame to poke on this wall a little bit. And now with the Mercenary lead, we can see everything else being fairly even, that the members of I Must Feed are taking that a touch ahead with the Mercenary camps. Shaman camp just about finished for the part of I Must Feed. Over here we have it already done, but Raynor just hanging out, relaxing on his bike before the objective, and now he caps it with 10 seconds left. Of course, the Shaman camps, as we all know, will continually spawn these dogs in front, so long as the Shaman itself is not killed. Alright, Hanamura Drift going straight into racing. Very even between the two teams, but a little bit of a lead for Hanamura Drift. Thrall starting to pick on that poor Deathwing. And halftime is reached. In this case, it did go over to Hanamura Drift as the superior race, and they are getting right on that Immortal, with Mal'Ganis out there in front, disrupting much of the attention and damage of I Must Feed. And Hanamura Drift clears it very well with 3,400 points going onto the shield. Oh, Jaina got out far. Yeah, that slide by John Goodman, followed up by the Molten Flame by Mal'Ganis, spelled for a very much melted frost of Jaina, and she is going to spend a few minutes thinking about what she's done in the Hall of Storms. But here is this Immortal with the shield now being melted. We see 3 members coming in to help push, 4 members defending. Jaina coming back from the Hall of Storms, Thrall matching that Deathwing. Just from a lore perspective, I mean, Thrall does beat Deathwing. But this has been a tough match going up against that healthier target with the armor, with no need to really worry about mana. But off Deathwing goes into the skies. Oh, Mal'Ganis coming down up here. Deathwing dropping stuff. Oh, Jaina getting caught by the ETC again. Great heals out there by Danalore on the Tyrande, making sure Jaina does not die. Night Knight taking the time to Hearthback, saving that tap, perhaps. Alright, talents. We do have Chaos Reigns by Alarak, so look at the hit people with the Discord Strike. We do have loudspeakers as well as Pinball Wizard from ETC going for that farther knockback and more damage on a target that's been power slided, something. The Cleanse coming out from Lily, let's go, as well as Surging Winds, which gives her spell power if her Blinding Winds can hit 2 targets. Ooh, great stun by Danalore. I actually thought we were seeing possibly the end of either Lily or ETC there. Flipping down here into the bottom lane, we've got Thrall being super healthy and having that mana tide as well as the Ancestral Wrath. He can stay in lane for quite some time with good old Deathwing and just pump in the damage. But he is losing a little bit as far as structure damage. His team did, however, with the first Immortal, take the full wall here. Second Immortal is spawning. We've got teams positioning, seeing just where they want to be. Mal'Ganis finding out where he wants to be, scary in a bush. We've got the Scouting Owl coming out. There is no escaping my justice. And Hanamura Drift getting right on this Immortal. Oh, great use of the Immortal stun there on Raynor. Tyrande able to turn that fight around, keeping Raynor up between his self-heals and the Tyrande heals, and then stopping that ETC dead in his tracks. Oh, the turnaround. Deathwing, you're a jerk. Great play by Sudden Bears there, locking down both Thrall and Mal'Ganis. And here they go onto the offensive, having quite the lead on the Immortal now. And Hanamura Drift taking the time to clear up some waves. It looks like they were thinking about the bottom camp. They've thought better of it now. And here we have it halftime, and the Immortals go into their respective positions. Hanamura Drift looking for a fight pre-10. They're all there, 5 on 5. Mal'Ganis getting a great sleep out. Oh, and Deathwing taking so much damage. Now it's ETC taking a ton of damage. The Let's Go coming out, trying to keep ETC free moving and alive. Oh, Deathwing. Oh, Deathwing. And Alarak going down. Any sadism he might have had is history. But look at that lead on the Immortal. I feel like if Vala's positioning is safe enough, she'll be able to get that last bit of health. Oh, and the members of Hanamura Drift deciding to send all 5 to race. I would have really liked to have seen both of their frontliners stay forward, because the members of I Must Feed just come in and remove that 3,000 health that was left in just short order. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I've had the logo up the whole time, and now I can't get it out of the way. Sorry, fellas. I don't actually know how to check the stream output to it. I will have to be taught that, but I've finally gotten rid of the large logo in front. We may actually restart this game and redo it because of how bad Valk is at casting. Yikes, Valk. So this almost radio level broadcast of the Zul'jin Distillery match from last night between I Must Feed and Calculated Throw Hanamura Drift, brought to you by the lack of knowledge of Valkymer on how to stream. Thanks Corix and DeWitt for being so kind to me, and we got a small logo in the middle of the screen. Whew! Alright. Well, I feel like I owe both of these teams an additional cast now for the radio broadcast of their second map, because I had that gigantic XGDI logo sitting front and center during the whole time. Oh man. Getting pings from a few people trying to help me out there, but I am not hearing it on my headset being in streamer mode. And I thought, you know, I probably should check on chat. And it's a good thing I did, because we'd have probably finished this match before we realized that that was there. So camp picked up before the objective. We've got quite a good push from Calculated Hanamura Drift that's going to be going top between having the 2 camps, neither of which have been cleared. We've got jockeying for position here around this bottom part of the Immortals. Mal'Ganis trying to go in and lock down the enemies for his team. Ooh. Fantastic combos coming out of Hanamura Drift. 3 kills. We got Mal'Ganis is doing just fine. Everybody pushed R, and down went 3 members of I Must Feed. Thrall coming back here to clean up the camp. Deathwing trying to do his darndest up on top, but we have the well going down. We're starting to get some pressure there. The shaman re-summoning his dogs, and Hanamura Drift is left alone to their own devices on this Immortal. halftime being reached, and the level gap is now no more. In fact, Hanamura Drift is ahead of the experience game. Very defensive positioning coming out of I Must Feed here on the Immortal. They are halfway to losing it, and they were able to push in. It looks like we've got taps coming out from Hanamura Drift, and now Mal'Ganis is looking for a fight. ETC with the power slide in. More defensive positioning. Ooh, missed telekinesis. Great work by Jaina and Mal'Ganis on that Alarak. Ooh, and the three-man mosh coming in the back. Alarak's gonna survive by the help of his good friend ETC. ETC is all over the Jaina. Deathwing coming in, being scary as dragons do. And the Jaina goes down. We've got ETC continuing to chase the Thrall. Raynor and Tyrande making it out through that mid-escape. And here we have the members of I Must Feed have successfully turned that defense into the ability to race this Immortal. Let's see. Yeah, Vala did go Monster Hunter coming through, so she's got that extra damage out on the Immortal, making sure that it safely goes over with 10,000 shield to the members of I Must Feed. Having already opened up that bottom fort, the Immortal will be going top. Deathwing coming down to pick up some experience globes because the fort has already cleaned it up for him. Coming back to top, we've got a full 5-man defense on the part of Hanamura Drift. The shield getting melted down really before it can do too much damage to that fort. Oh, Gensers, you crazy and very successful in this case aggro tank. So the fort's down, the Immortal still having 15,000 health on it. Zoom that out a little bit. In coming the Deathwing. Doesn't need to hit anybody, but now he's here safe to pump out some of that damage. And this front wall has got to be gone with all 5 members here. Yeah, second cannon tower going down in short order. Starfall coming out, trying to provide some of that zoning. The ring unfortunately does miss coming from Jaina. Ooh, John Goodman goes down. We again have that carrion swarm from Mal'Ganis. Ooh, Deathwing under 25% health, losing his last armor plate. But the members of I Must Feed opening up that keep, prepping it for the next wave. And look at this wave coming in bot. While it doesn't have that much in the way of spears or catapults coming through, it has got quite the wave to absorb some damage, picking up 2 additional kills on the side of Hanamura Drift, trying to chase for the win. They did lose a structure and a wall down here, so 1 cannon tower. They're able to take the enemy shaman camp, forcing into now the fight here underneath this first fort bottom, and they are just melting it. The siege damage that can come out of a Raynor Jaina, just immense, and the shaman really didn't take a lot of damage, so his dogs will just keep respawning. And there is a treasure trove of experience back here, but it is getting cleared for free with the forces up here. There would be no reinforcement minions for blue. Taking the bottom night camp, or excuse me, siege camp, night capping it with that amazing 6.5 ascended banner. Hanamura Drift picking up their shaman camp now, having denied the shaman camp of I Must Feed, picking up the top wave. Alright, checking in on chat per DeWitt's recommendation. No one said anything now. They're all offended by how bad Valk was at casting and moving into radio mode. Alright, very defensive positioning on the part of I Must Feed, getting ready for this Immortal. Surely they must know that the members of Hanamura Drift taking this camp, clearing the top. Still waiting in the bush. I would have liked to have seen them in this bush here, but everybody's saying, where is the blue team? that damage out on the Thrall. Sadly, a touch of anti-synergy. Oh, the ring lands this time, but still too much damage out on the Jaina. The 3-man Mosh, Thrall almost going down. ETC hanging on for a moment, and Deathwing comes down. Thrall goes down, ETC goes down. Raynor goes down. This is scary for the part of Hanamura Drift, having 4 members, only their healer up. Sadly, Tyrande, not the queen of wave clear that she would like to be. And so she is trying to keep that top keep alive, safe from the minions, as the members of I Must Feed are just picking on the Immortal of Hanamura Drift. Night Night saying map blow up. Tyrande having a great time as teams dive into her and she's able to auto attack, but too much burst does overwhelm her poor healing. Deathwing continuing to force this top lane a little bit, zoning people out, making sure that they are going to have all the pressure in the world with this nearly full shield Immortal. So huge amount of shield on this Immortal. It's coming bottom lane. Wow. Look at that health bar fill up. Look at it go. 5-man push, prepping this lane for the Immortal. Here we are, it has 48,000 health. For reference, the Keep has 17,000 and the Core has 31,000. So this Immortal has just as much health as these major structures. Everybody pushing R. Oh, the ring does catch the Vala. That was a fantastic lunar flare, trying to follow up on it, but the cleanse from Lili keeping Vala safe. Deathwing absorbing shots between that shield and his armor. The solo Mosh to knock out that Thrall. The Immortal is still going, having just as much health as the Core. Minions spawning to try to help. Raynor trying to do his darndest, but with 2 members down on the side of Hanamura Drift, this is game. 40%. The GG's being called. 20%. Another kill out of Tyrande. Deathwing starting to do Cataclysm for the style points. Look at those flaming wings. Congratulations to the side of I Must Feed, coming in as the winners today. I would agree they didn't capitalize on some of the CC, and they didn't capitalize on some of the kills that they got. They had some great chase, they made some great fight happen, but as we all learned from Ender's game, the enemy gate is down, kills don't win the game, killing the Core kills the game. I Must Feed making sure they constantly had that macro advantage on Hanamura Drift so that when they got some kills, they could force it that much more. I think that the Lili did a fantastic job, Lili main. You'll see this message come out here in a minute, but they, again, on the side of I Must Feed, they were very strong, forcing the issue constantly to make sure that when they got a kill, they could capitalize. So my apologies once more for turning this into 3 parts video broadcast and 1 part radio broadcast for a solid 10 minutes of game number 2 with that gigantic XGDI logo, which I put up there while I was switching maps. But great series, glad to have been able to cast. Thanks to my as many as 5 viewers, hot dog, for showing up today. I will try to pick up some other casts as we keep going forward. May the glory of the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational keep going. Great matches, everybody. I'm going to sign off. This has been Valkymer. Thanks for watching.